Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka
Man, I cannot lose my job right now. I'm still paying off that painting I bought.
MBT, and we are back with another Twitter thread. Today I'm talking about cards that have fallen TF off. Cards that used to be extremely good in everything and now are totally invisible. And I'm going to begin with one of my favorites, Fiendsmith engraver. Now I know what you all are going to say. This guy is nowhere because they banned Moon. But he was nowhere while Moon was legal near the end of his lifespan as well. A significant amount of decks can still make him. Anything that has access to a 3 or a 4 or, you know, like a light fiend. But everyone just sort of assumed he was no longer necessary. And even unbanning Lacrima changed nothing for him. The fact of the matter is, it's a pretty significant engine in terms of requirements in deck. You have to play the Lurie, and the end result just isn't much more powerful than stuff other decks are already able to do. It's crazy. I mean, these cards were released hit in Master Duel, and now if I saw someone playing Fiendsmith across the table from me, I'd be like, oh, okay. Let's see what you all have come up with. The fall off of the adventure token was huge. These cards were released hit in multiple ways in Master Duel. Absolutely correct. The first format where this card was legal, everyone was playing it. It was everywhere during that based format as well, and then absolutely nowhere despite 0 hits to the engine. They banned Griffin Rider in the OCG. Yes, this card and its associated archetype are nowhere. Isn't that crazy to think about? It's not that it's inaccessible either. Any deck that has 3s in it can make Cherubini send the Enchantress and immediately get the whole engine anyway, but it's just like it requires such a very specific deck to warrant playing because so many people need their normal summon activation, and that deck needs to want this effect. And that, I think, happens so infrequently that it's just not even being considered. Bumbles has a good one. The Borrels. Borrel Dragon was in everything on release. If you remember, the reason Borrel Dragon was so popular was in part because it was a card that elegantly answered the end form of the Synchro spam decks, which was Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Beats the hell out of that card at a time when DDD was still kind of being experimented with. It was crept by Borrel Sword Dragon, which became played in absolutely everything as a mechanism to close out games almost immediately, which got crept by Borrelode Savage Dragon, which was part of an end board, and ultimately they are now on Borrel End Dragon, playable only in Dragon Link. You can argue that Borrel Sword Dragon was crept by Accesscode Talker, but I think Link 4 monster that wins you the game by attacking is just something that decks are allowed to have now. I can't imagine it getting much better than Accesscode, though. Saw someone already post Gores, but haven't seen any mention of the other staple hand trap at the time, direYGO. I guess in that regard, you could mention all Battle Fader style hand traps like Fader himself and Swift Scarecrow, just not relevant anymore. I think the last time these were even being considered was like Dragon Ruler format, because it was a way you could resist an OTK and end boards didn't have too many negates in them. And so like you would get a chance to try and kill them back. direYGO going down is so rough. It's just crazy how strong this card is in the formats where it's legal and how nowhere it is just even like 6 months later. Borderline must have on release, but fell off as soon as non-destruction removal like Cosmic gained traction. MST getting revived and being able to use the negate doesn't help its case either, even that is kind of niche usage. Yep, there's just better cards that beat back row. RP's Feather Duster, evenly matched. Even in formats like Genesis, where this card is 0 points, it doesn't really see play. Instead, people elect to play Cosmic Cyclone just for situations where you'd rather have it banished. It is rough to think that like this card is not playable and double Cyclone is. Holy moly. I loved that small period of time between the Link starter deck's Code of the Duelist when this was the only monster with 2 arrows pointing down and was an auto include in pretty much any deck that went to the extra. We really put up with a lot during the early Link era. We were out here like weaving 5 monsters into a combo to make like Decode Talker Proxy. We called him a negate. Like Nintendo Wii? Dude, do you remember people being like, this is 3.5 negates because it'd be 3 negates plus the Decode Talker? Master Duel answer, all of this is legal and no one plays it. Dire with a killer answer. This is a fantastic one. It is crazy that originally when they hit Celestial and people stopped playing DPE, we were like, oh, maybe that is an elegant solution to the problem that doesn't necessitate a ban of Verte Anaconda. And then we realized all of it can be legal. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is a great one, Spence. Thank you. Magician Souls. This guy broke Spiral. He was universally applicable in decks thanks to Illusion of Chaos, and now he is nowhere. Worse still, new cards with Soul's genre of effect are called circulars now. Stolen Valor! Wait, that's hilarious! That's correct. Sending from deck in order to summon from hand is referred to as a circular, despite the fact that Souls, a card responsible for a tier 0 deck, pioneered it. And also true, Magician Souls occasionally features in like White Forest builds that are still coping on like Toy Box, but yeah, it turns out a card like this that extends to the field and then like cycles a bunch of bad cards cards in your hand, or a couple of decent ones if you have something going on, aren't fantastic. Was this in the Trif deck that was like 60 cards long and had every engine in it? Yes. Nothing from that deck counts because that deck was playing any card that could even remotely be called good. New rules. Well. This card used to rule the game and it's currently legal in all formats. Even Master Duel exists with Verte and no one touches it. It was banned in Master Duel until recently and it just didn't do anything. It hit the game like a wet fart. Just an argument about like the necessity of summoning monsters on your turn. This card was playable in like Guru, which is one of the few decks that just didn't have to summon monsters on its first turn. There was a really short period of time when this guy was just so everywhere. Ugh, those Drytron decks that you would like hand trap them 3 times and they'd be like, well, I've got 2 Drytrons to work with. Watch this. So Scapegoat, of course, was really good in 2004 and then, you know, not good afterwards. But Scapegoat was also really good in 2017 when Link monsters were first released. It was a way to get to a Link 4 for free. And at the time, you would use it for Firewall Dragon, but as new Link monsters were released, it became more and more powerful. You play it in a control deck, flip it at the end of your opponent's turn, and then just win on your turn. You can still do that now. You can get 4 Link material. The problem is you have to commit to not summoning anything on your opponent's turn, and there just aren't very many decks that do that and also want to get to game 3. I think that legitimately, like, this card is one of the most powerful things nobody's playing. This is a good one. I felt like for a good chunk after Agov, people were just putting Horus in everything just to feel something, and then people realized maybe tossing away your whole hand and possible interaction for some big boys on a rank 8 might have been a bit oversold. Agreed. Totally agree. These cards were way overplayed relative to their power level, I think. It is crazy that here they are played nowhere. Master Duel, they are still a little popular. You are correct. I think the last time they were consistently played was like Gimmick Puppet FTK played these. I have not seen anybody say our favorite Dino Boy pankratops. God, he was limited. Oh, one thing about pankratops that you may not know if you weren't playing during this period is that post-board, a lot of games would get simplified really early just because of the quality of going second tools that existed. And then like decks that aim to play a control style game, Altergeist, Trickstar, would just end up reducing to pankratops control. They'd just summon pankratops and be like, all right, out this guy. And then if they tried out them, they'd be like, I'm 2-for-1ing you. And I thought when he came back, he was going to see play. I was like, oh yeah, this guy's going to get sided for sure. He did for like a month. And then everyone was like, we can do better. This is a great answer. Like a bunch of the answers in the thread. Where the fuck is Blue Eyes Primite? Like what's going on? Top 3 decks, Ryziel, Malice, Blue Eyes, right? Ryziel and Malice sustain massive hits. New decks released for Jush format. You would expect Blue Eyes Primite to stick around. Where the fuck is it? Blue Eyes Primite legit still does shit. It's just that people are bored. It would be funny to be like, yeah, it's washed. Not necessarily because it's bad, but because, oh my God, if I have to summon Blue Eyes again, I'm gonna lose it. What the fuck is this? You couldn't find a normal picture of Accesscode Talker. You had to take a picture where some fucking site ripped it and printed it onto a fleece blanket. They're talking about it like this is a normal picture too. In its current format, I think it's not the staple it wants. What? Address me. This thread has taught me 2 things. Firstly, that the scary cards of today might be the shitty cards of tomorrow. And secondly, that none of my viewers play Yu-Gi-Oh! I know, yeah, you're all waiting for the long credit sequence. Roll it. I can't say this one. Not at all, dog. This card is like very popular right now. What? Yeah, dude, they banned all the good cards. Because of the ban list, right? T-Drag was in like everything, but the poor Thunder type sees no play anymore because Graceful Charity is banned. That's why you think this card isn't seeing play? What are you talking about? This card is still insane. I don't know how to tell. This card is still really good. I'm getting trolled. 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 I'm not going to fall for this.